Of household rubbish we produce each year. In the last hour, controversial plans to build a new waste incinerator on Greenbelt land in Hertfordshire have been given the go-ahead. Campaigners are furious, but the council says it's been left with few options as the county is rapidly running out of landfill space. And with that becoming more and more expensive, other councils are also looking at incineration as a solution. Let's get the latest from our reporter, Yvonne Hall. Yvonne.
Well, the debate's been going on all day here in a committee meeting at County Hall about whether this incinerator should be built or not. And then about an hour ago, a majority of councillors voted in favour. About 150 protesters had packed the public gallery here. After that vote, some of them left in tears.
There's just nothing seems to have been taken into consideration for the ordinary person. It's all about the business side. And, you know, I just find it very upsetting that it's almost a walkover.
Well, this morning, about 200 protesters gathered here before the meeting began. Barnfield! Making sure councillors hear their protest this morning, demonstrators at County Hall in Hertford. No surrender! No surrender! The incinerator would burn nearly 400,000 tonnes of waste a year from Hertfordshire and, if there's excess capacity, from surrounding counties and London. This is what it would look like. The site is on Greenbelt land in Hatfield, just yards from a special needs school.
There are two main concerns. One is the impact of the traffic on the school because the access will be right past the school. We're talking about large numbers of heavy goods vehicles. And secondly, the actual impact of the scale and size of the building right next to the school.
Protesters have the backing of Welwyn Hatfield MP and Chair of the Conservative Party, Grant Shapps. He says campaigners might seek a judicial review.
I've already written to the Secretary of State at the Communities and Local Government Department to say, look, this is a big decision, it's a controversial decision, it affects a lot of people, and it is on Greenbelt. So I've already said all of those things. Obviously I'll be doing that again. But also, we're not at the end of the road here.
But councillors in charge of waste disposal say the £220 million incinerator would be the most environmentally friendly way of dealing with most of Hertfordshire's 250,000 tonnes of waste a year.
We, along with other authorities, have to find an alternative. Landfill is, apart from the environmental issues, landfill is becoming incredibly expensive, so every waste disposal authority up and down the country has to find an alternative.
It's also argued that energy generated by the plant could power thousands of homes. Well, we're joined now by the chair of the committee which voted for the incinerator, Councillor Brian Hammond. Councillor Hammond, thank you for joining us. Protesters say this incinerator will create toxic ash, damage the environment and be harmful to a special needs school nearby. Why did you vote for it?
Because I think, in fact, the mitigation measures that we should put in place will alleviate so many of those fears. And we've got all sorts of plans for that special needs school whilst the incinerator is being built and indeed subsequently.
And another argument is they say that recycling rates are rising, people want more recycling. An incinerator like this isn't going to be needed in years to come. How do you respond to that?
I'm not an expert on incineration, but I'm convinced that the need will be there for many, many years to come. You've got to accept that Hertfordshire has always been exporting its waste. It goes to Bedfordshire, it goes to Cambridgeshire, it goes to North London, and we're under great pressure to deal with our own waste.
Your MP here, Grant Shapps, says he's prepared to take this fight to a judicial review. What's your response to that?
I think almost certainly it will be called in by the Secretary of State, and that will have an inquiry. Obviously, I would be optimistic that it will go through because I see the need, but we're in the hands of the inspector at this stage.
Councillor Hammond, thank you very much indeed. Well, although the vote has gone in favour here today, this is very likely to be decided finally by the Secretary of State for Communities and Local Government, Eric Pickles, because the incinerator site is on Greenbelt land. Back to you.
Yvonne, thank you for that update.